Friends, we did it! We beat the Fun Pimps at their own game. Woohoo! We got them to 100% reverse their earlier design choice of lowering block hit points for a bunch of shapes. Look here at this. Well, look there at this one. It's got 5,000. It's a pole, 5,000 hit points. Well, what about the plate? 5,000. And of course, the full block, 5,000. Anyway, before we go on, make sure to give that thumbs up to the video and subscribe before we go through the patch notes. But yes, after my video and the groundswell of support everyone showed for my point of view, which of course was the right one, not just kidding. I mean, there were legitimate reasons for doing the way they did it, but the Fun Pimps have decided that their latest change was no fun and reverted it. They even said why, which was that they had no way of properly displaying hit points of blocks prior to placing them, which of course was just one of the problems with their implementation. What do they mean? Well, if you had your block like that and you checked, let's see, in my inventory, and I clicked on it, it would still say 5,000 even if it was 1250, because all of them are taking the 5,000 just from the block shape material, not from the specific shape itself. But let's have a look at the full patch notes. So for the first part of additions, they have implemented a way to scale upgrades, repair, and harvest values depending on the actual shape. So what this really means is that a 50% hit point block shape would cost 50% to repair, and it would give 50% back when you harvest, and it would cost 50% when you upgrade it. Unfortunately, it doesn't solve the bigger problem of costing 100% when you craft it as a completed block, which was one of the super good additions that they had prior to actually making that change. Not sure how they're going to fix that, to be honest. I suspect they might leave it even though it's going to be really dumb. We will see. So the second piece is got to do with the level of detail of blocks, and there's some culling minimum. I'm not really sure what is this actually changing, but I guess it's good. They also have part trader tile fill 3. I think this is the tile where the trader is being placed. You have the road, and then you have some kind of generic stuff on the other side of it, which seemed to be so generic. I kept seeing it over and over and over again. But there's a bunch of changes as well. The AI destroy area values. There's been a bunch of things that we'll see down here, which also has got to do with the AI. And block shapes with 25% and 50% hit points are now back to 100%. So it's as if the change didn't happen, which is really, really good. So they implemented the system, but not all of it, and decided, not in a good shape to launch yet, which I think was wise. I really think that if they want to go that route, it's okay, but wait until Alpha 21. Let us play with those 1300 block shapes and then decide if it really needs a change. Suppressors now work on primitive pistol or pipe pistols. This was something I was running into. I put a suppressor on my pistol and it did nothing. Suppressor attached to 45 magnums now suppress a little. Well, it shouldn't do too much. Same as, can you put it on a shotgun? Well, I believe you probably can, but you shouldn't really make that huge a difference. Maybe a little bit. Reduce sleeper count in volume in downtown intersection. Maybe this one was weird and had a really high sleeper count. I really like having city town tiles having a lot of sleepers or a lot of spawns, because that makes it so much more interesting. And here's something that people were complaining about on the forums, that you could no longer steal the player sleeping bags at the trader, because now it's a PUI version of the sleeping bag. Well, so not really complaints, but it was actually fairly useful. If you didn't have any, just pick it up and then put it down outside of the trader, of course. So as we go through the things that have been fixed, you'll see that there's a bunch of things that has to do with the AI. AI not attacking when blocked above a ladder, meaning it was climbing up on the ladder. There was a hatch, for instance. It means that it wasn't properly attacking upwards. Reduced AI trying to crouch when pushed into walls. Well, if it's in the walls, it shouldn't be crouching. Uncrouching with someone above them, which could push them through the colliders. Again, it's got to do with that crouch mechanic. So hopefully this means that they're working a little bit better. There were also a bunch of problems with the drone, unfortunately. For one, and this actually ran into this, or rather caused it, is that if someone had a drone and you opened the keypad window because you're trying to hack into it, it locked out the owner, which was really convenient because it meant that the owner had to give you the password, meaning that you could input the password and then steal all the stuff, which is almost what I did. I mean, I didn't quite do that. There were some other problems with if you hold E to take the drone and then spamming E is some UI errors. And robotic drone only allowed the first mode to be added via shift, fine. And on servers and multiplayer sessions, you could get that repeated cutout. And I think I mentioned about that previously when it was shut down. Because it was trying to play that voice loop and it wasn't able to do all of it because it was supposed to be shut down. There are a few big problems with the drones right now. One big one that I've run across is that they can vanish, just vanish, or go invisible, or just despawn instead of dropping to the ground. And if that happens, it means that you can never ever have a drone again because there's a limit to one and it is dumbly tied to your character. What they should do, and Fun Pimps, I hope you're listening, is to allow us to put down new drones or to clear the old drone somehow. Because just have the old one go inactive in the world and only use the last placed, just like the church, for instance. That way, if one is lost, yeah, it'll be annoying because it loses it, but you can just put down another one if you have it. Like I said, on my multiplayer server, mine vanished. It's not where it last was. And I'm ending up having to delete my character and refix it by giving myself extra books and experience and everything. And that's really annoying because it can happen again, meaning I have to wipe my character again and again every time I lose the drone. And that's really bad. It's a design flaw that needs to be fixed. We know things get lost. It could be turrets, could be vehicles, and now it's drones. And there's no error recovery that is possible because the drone is linked to your character. You can only have one, which means that if you lose it, that's it. It also means that if it gets destroyed and you don't realize it, it might be somewhere on the big map and you can't find it. And you can't put down another one because you have a broken drone somewhere on the map. It just makes no sense at all. So anyway, that's the patch. I think it's great it came out, even though I do suspect that the Fun Pimps still want to nerf pole blocks. So because of that, I have a couple of fun videos coming out in the next couple of days. There's one exploit that is amusing and even better than the poles, and a melee base which is also, well, I think better than the poles. So if they end up re-nerfing the poles to prevent pole usage, we'll just use other ways that work as well and remove the whole purpose of the nerf. But give me your thoughts. Will the de-nerf be re-nerfed? Well, you let me know. Take care, friends.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.